I've been using the Galaxy S25 Ultra for the last 3 months. This has been my main daily driver. I've taken it everywhere from vacations to the toilet and everything in between, and even though this is my favorite phone, it has me wondering, is it still Ultra? Now, before we get into everything, there are a few settings on your phone that I suggest that everybody change just to get that full Ultra experience. And the first one is to go into your display settings, scroll down to screen resolution and change it from Full HD to QHD+. This is going to give you the sharpest, best looking display, and on top of that, new to the Galaxy S25 Ultra, Samsung brought the Pro Scaler feature, which they brought in from their TVs, that will upscale everything that you're looking at on your display. And this works system-wide, so no matter if you're watching shows on Netflix, videos on YouTube, or just scrolling through social media, you're gonna get the best experience possible, so definitely be sure to enable this feature. Now, for most people, the phone that they have in their pocket is their main camera, so you wanna make sure you're getting the best quality out of your pictures and videos. So to do that, go ahead and open up your camera, go to the photo tab, and up here you'll see it's set to 12 megapixels by default. Now this is okay if you're just going to be taking pictures for social media, but if you like to print your pictures at the end of the year and create collages of your memories, I would highly suggest you change this to 50 megapixels or 200 megapixels, because if you're going to be cropping or zooming or enlarging, you're going to get much better quality than if you had this set to 12 megapixels. Next, go to the video tab, and if you tap up here, you'll see that by default, your phone comes out of the box set to 1080p video recording, which by today's standards is a no-go. So definitely tap on here and set it to UHD, which is 4K. And now you're going to be shooting in much higher resolution and get much better looking videos out of your phone. All right, so now we have a better display, we're taking better photos and better videos, but this is just scratching the surface of all of the amazing features of the Galaxy S25 Ultra. So if you want to know all the things that I recommend setting and some amazing tips and tricks, I highly suggest you go ahead and subscribe to this channel, because I'm going to be dropping some really cool videos with all of the amazing features of the Galaxy S25 Ultra and all the other phones too. So go ahead and subscribe. All right, so let's talk design. Yes, the phone is much more flat while also being more round. Samsung has rounded the corners but flattened the display completely. And the best part about the Galaxy S25 Ultra, if you're coming from the previous S24 Ultra, is it's slimmer and lighter, which for these massive phones is definitely a plus. We also get the Gorilla Armor 2 on the front, which has Samsung's anti-reflective technology on there. So using this phone in bright daylight, or if you have bright lights behind you, is absolutely amazing, because you're not going to get as much reflections off of this display as you would with some other phones. Now, this isn't new to the Galaxy S25 Ultra. They did introduce it on last year's S24 Ultra. And while they didn't make any improvements to the anti-reflective technology, they did say that it's 29% more durable and strong, although you can see my display already has these scratch marks on it. This happened like 2 weeks into ownership. I don't use a screen protector, so I guess it's my own fault. But every year they say they're making these tougher and tougher, but it seems like every year it's just losing that battle against my keys in my pocket. Now, when it comes to the display, Samsung really didn't make any major improvements from last year's Galaxy S24 Ultra. Things are mostly the same with the exception of that Pro Scaler on here, but I can't blame Samsung, because they just make some of the best looking displays on the market. Using this phone is an absolute treat. You get amazing colors, amazing contrast, you get that anti-reflective display on here. Anything that you're looking at on here is just gonna look great. And Samsung also gives you power to customize your display to your liking. So if you like really saturated, vivid colors, you can go ahead and select that. If you like more natural colors, you can select that. And you can even customize the white balance or change the RGB values individually to set this to your liking. Now, when it comes to the cameras, if we're talking hardware, the story pretty much remains the same. They have not made much improvements over last year's Galaxy S24 Ultra, aside from a small improvement on the ultra wide, where we went from a 12 megapixel sensor to a 50 megapixel sensor. But most of the changes they made are software related. For example, with One UI 7, they made the camera app a lot more clean. There's a lot less clutter going around, so it's much easier to use, but you still get all the same controls as you ever had. We get 10-bit HDR support in videos. We can also shoot log now to get more control over the colors in post-process. Expert RAW supports 200 megapixels. And one of my favorite new features is now when you're shooting videos, you get this slider that allows you to smoothly zoom in or out of your video. That new sensor also delivers an improvement when it comes to the macro photography. You get really great shots up close, so you're not going to have any issues there. The zoom has always been amazing on Samsung phones, and if you need to zoom to something that's really far away, you're still going to get great quality shots. If I want to take slow motion videos, this phone has me covered with 4K 120 FPS. You can really slow down the videos to get some amazing amazing footage. Portrait photos look amazing, the skin tones are nice, the bokeh in the background is good, the edge detection is just on point. You can just tell when you're looking at these photos that these are taken on a flagship phone. They always look really good, and even if you zoom in, you can see it just retains a lot of detail, and these photos just always turn out great. Alright, let's talk about AI, because that is pretty much the main selling point of all of these phone manufacturers these days. Everything is AI. And Samsung was really the first major brand to introduce AI on the Galaxy S24 Ultra from last year. And since then, they have made amazing improvements, and I can honestly easily say that Samsung is way ahead of everybody else when it comes to AI, especially iPhone. Boy, is that a mess. We now have the brand new Now Brief, which can be added to your home screen as a widget, and it'll give you different information depending on the time of the day. So if you wake up in the morning, it'll give you the weather, it'll give you all of your events for the day, and at night, it'll show you tomorrow's alarms, the next day's events that you have planned, a summary of your activity for the day. There's also some mindfulness features to help you just calm down and get yourself ready for bed, and just some news headlines that it thinks you might be interested in. And when you're using it on the lock screen, the Now bar acts kind of like the dynamic island does on the iPhone, and it'll just show you things going on, like if you have a running timer or a voice recorder going, or if you're playing any music, it'll show you everything on the Now bar, and you can even use it on the always on display by just simply double tapping on any of the controls. Definitely really cool. We also get the brand new audio eraser feature, which is definitely really great situationally. So let's say maybe you're at a destination wedding at a beach and there's a lot of waves crashing, or an airplane flies over and there's just a lot of background noise. You can identify those noises and suppress them and focus only on the vocals, and that just gives you a much better audio clip within your videos. Circle to search, while not new, is probably one of my favorite AI features. I absolutely love being able to just circle whatever it is that I want and have the phone find it for me. And one trick that a lot of people might not know is you can invoke it directly from your camera app. You can just point your camera at whatever object and invoke circle to search right on top and search directly from there. Really cool. They did also expand on the circle to search feature, so if you invoke it, you'll see that there's this new button right here that if you click on it, it will listen to music going on around you and identify those songs, or you can even hum a tune to your phone and it'll try to identify it directly from that. Now let's talk Gemini. This has been one of my favorite new additions to the Galaxy phone, because not only is Gemini really useful by itself, but it works in tandem with Bixby. So you can use them together without having to choose which one to use when. Your phone will just do all of that for you. And this allows you to do really powerful things. For example, I can ask Gemini when the next Formula 1 race is, and then set a reminder 1 hour before that race. And this way it'll use Gemini to look up the schedule of Formula 1 online, but then hand it off to Bixby to add it as a reminder to my phone. But now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, because AI is not here to stay, because Samsung has said that they're going to put it behind a paywall. And the awkward part is we don't know which features are going to be behind a paywall, we don't know when it's going to happen, and we don't even know how much it's going to cost. So enjoy AI while you have it, because it looks like it's not here to stay, at least not for free. So we'll just have to sit back, relax, and wait to see what Samsung ends up doing. Next up, the performance. We have the brand new Snapdragon 8 Elite for Galaxy. We get fast RAM, fast storage. The single core performance is great, and the multi-core almost hits 10,000, which is absolutely insane. But again, as an everyday person, what does that really mean? Well, it just means that you have a very powerful and capable phone. But so what? The iPhone 16 Pro Max is also a very powerful and capable phone. But the difference is the Galaxy phone actually allows you to use all of that power by letting you do things like split screen multitasking. You can bring up multiple windows on your display and interact with both of them at the same time. You can even bring up a third window on top of that in pop-up view and interact with 3 applications at the same time. You can also use things like Samsung DeX and connect a monitor, keyboard, and mouse to your phone and use this phone as a standalone workstation powering your whole entire setup. And what's cool is when you're in DeX mode, it's not just the regular One UI 7 experience, they actually have a dedicated OS for when you're using DeX. So you actually get a desktop-like experience rather than a phone-like experience, which is absolutely insane. Now with the new One UI 7 update, this phone feels absolutely amazing to use. It's incredibly smooth and fluid. We have beautiful animations. The new updated icons look nice and modern. And no matter what you're doing with this phone, whether you're gaming, using multitasking, whatever windows or applications you're using, it just does an absolutely incredible job handling whatever it is that you throw at it. Now let's talk about the one controversial downside. Yes, Samsung did remove the Bluetooth functionality from the SPen, so you're not going to be able to do things like take pictures using the button or change slides if you're doing like a PowerPoint presentation. But the one upgrade is it doesn't smell like burnt rubber anymore. Why do I miss the old one? Now, Samsung said that the reason that they did this is because less than like 1% of people use the Bluetooth functionality of the S Pen, but that makes me worried about some of the other niche features of the Galaxy phone, like 8K video recording or Samsung DeX. But yeah, let me know, what do you guys think about the removal of the Bluetooth functionality of the S Pen? Is this something you care about, or is it just gone with the wind? Now let's talk battery, and this is probably where I am most disappointed because we have had pretty much the same battery and charging speeds for the last 5 or so years on Galaxy phones. And while the battery is a little bit better on the Galaxy S25 Ultra, those improvements are mainly from the more efficient Snapdragon chip, not the battery itself. And a lot of competition out there is really pushing the envelope and introducing new silicon carbon batteries in their phones, which allows them to keep the same capacity while getting more battery life out of it. And when it comes to 45-watt charging, I just think that that's a little bit slow by today's standards. Sure, it probably doesn't sound slow, like if I was to tell you that I can charge this phone from 0 to 100 in a little bit over an hour, yeah, that doesn't sound slow. But if you are in a rush to get somewhere and you only have a few minutes to charge and you're maybe running low, plugging this in for 5 to 10 minutes is really not going to get you anywhere. Whereas there's a lot of competition out there that's pushing 60 watt, 80 watt, or even faster charging, which can really get your battery juiced up a lot in just a few minutes of charging. I honestly think that Samsung just still has PTSD from their exploding batteries from back in the day, and they're just afraid to mess with the battery in any way. But I'd honestly like to see them start making some improvements. And before you go down into the comments and start typing,
"Fast charging is bad for your battery. Why would you want to destroy your battery? You're so stupid."
No, I'm gonna stop you right there. It's not fast charging that's bad for your battery. It's the heat that it generates that's bad for your battery. But if you can manage that heat and keep it down to a minimum, fast charging should not be a problem to your battery. And considering that Samsung put a bigger vapor chamber in this phone, I feel like they can handle it. So is the Galaxy S25 Ultra still Ultra with all of the competition catching up and even surpassing the Galaxy S25 Ultra in some aspects like battery and cameras? I have to say that yes, this phone is still absolutely Ultra. This is probably still all around the best Android phone on the market that you can buy today. But let me know your thoughts on the Galaxy S25 Ultra, and be sure to subscribe down below if you want to see more videos from me. But that's gonna do it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.